What's up, everybody? Welcome to the rLounge. Insane entitled mother-in-law tried to assault brother-in-law. This happened this past summer, and it has to do with my boyfriend's, 23 male, mom. So for time, I, 21 female, will refer to her as mother-in-law. My boyfriend's brother, 24 male, had been living back at home with my boyfriend and his mom since COVID lockdown, and he was working at Walmart, where he met his now girlfriend. She is so sweet, and honestly, I look forward to her becoming my sister-in-law someday. Brother-in-law and his girlfriend had been dating for roughly a year when she graduated, and they decided they'd get an apartment together while she finished grad school. Now, on to the crazy. I was staying with my boyfriend at their house for a little bit to spend time with him when his brother and his girlfriend were getting ready to move out. She had come to the house to help brother-in-law go through some things and decide what they would bring with them on the move and what they would get rid of. This shouldn't be an issue, right? Wrong. Mother-in-law has a tendency to be controlling and entitled, and if things don't go just her way, everyone knows it. This was one of her crazy days. While brother-in-law and girlfriend are packing up, she picks a fight with him over some of the stuff they were trying to get rid of. Brother-in-law is pretty passive, and he apologized to her because he hadn't realized that she would want to keep some of his things. Boyfriend and I are down in the basement and can hear the commotion, but we are trying to just mind our business because this had nothing to do with us. Mother-in-law storms down the stairs to complain about brother-in-law to us, and my boyfriend just kind of brushed her off, saying, "Well, it's his stuff, and if he wants to get rid of it, he has every right to." Boyfriend doesn't put up with his mom's BS when she's like this. She didn't like that response and went into her office and slammed the door. Boyfriend needed to get to work as he works the second shift, and he informed me that if I needed anything, I could call him or his work and ask for him. At this point, brother-in-law and sister-in-law had left to go to the laundromat down the street. I am hiding downstairs trying not to instigate mother-in-law in any way and just mind my business. That is, until mother-in-law comes down into boyfriend's room with a gun, a box, a clip, and a holster. Me, confused, I looked at it, and all she said was, "It's unloaded." I am getting weird vibes, and she just leaves. I text boyfriend and tell him what happened, and he called me and put his brother on a three-way call, and his brother informs us that his mom had just come to the laundromat to inform brother-in-law and sister-in-law that she was admitting herself to the psych ward because she couldn't handle the disrespect he was giving her, and she insinuated she was a danger to herself, which is why she left the guns with me. The three of us are like, what the F? But decide maybe it's for the best. Maybe she will get some help. She very obviously needs it. Brother-in-law and sister-in-law come home and they make dinner, and the three of us sit down together and eat. Everything is going great and no sign of mother-in-law. We are still sitting in the living room and we hear some very aggressive honking coming from outside. Brother-in-law checks, and sure enough, mother-in-law is back. He goes outside to move his car so she can pull into the garage, and as soon as she comes inside, she starts going into sister-in-law, asking her about some expensive sheets and why did sister-in-law try to get rid of them. Sister-in-law is very confused and tried to speak up for herself, but mother-in-law isn't having it. Brother-in-law comes back in and tried explaining further to his mom when mother-in-law says, "Everything you're wanting to get rid of goes through me first." This is shocking to me because she has never tried to verbally attack one of the girlfriends before, but obviously I'm pissed because who the F does she think she is? Eventually, brother-in-law and sister-in-law go back upstairs to continue going through things and pack things up, and I go up there to help because I didn't want to deal with crazy lady by myself. So we were all going through stuff and putting stuff in boxes, and mother-in-law comes and just stands in the doorway and glares at all of us. We look back for a minute, but then just keep doing what we are doing. She finally goes into her room and starts crying very loudly, and she texts my phone asking me to tell brother-in-law to go to her. So I inform him of the text I just got, and he goes. He comes back and we ask what the F is going on? And he says she was trying to guilt trip him by saying, "You don't care about me or how I feel," etc. We just roll our eyes and finish up packing. We get the trash and the three of us head outside to put it in the trash can. Behind us, we hear the door open. Sure enough, it's mother-in-law. Side note, brother-in-law and sister-in-law were moving out the following Thursday. Mother-in-law works from home. She asks brother-in-law about what he's throwing away, and he explains in a way he thinks will suffice. It did not. Mother-in-law, "You can't move out on Thursday. If I am this much of a mess right now, how am I supposed to get any work done when you are moving out?" Brother-in-law says, "Mom, I'm very sorry you're upset, but I have to move out on Thursday." Sister-in-law, starting to panic. Thursday is the day we rented the truck. It's the only day we have to help. We have no other option. Mother-in-law. I don't care. I have to work. You're not moving out on Thursday. Brother-in-law trying to reassure sister-in-law. We will figure something out. If you leave Thursday, you might as well get the hell out of my house now. Okay, come on, sister-in-law's name. You don't care about me. You just want to leave me like everyone else. Mom, we are not going that far. We will come to visit. I'm sorry you're upset, but we have to go. Mother-in-law gets in brother-in-law's face. You're not leaving Thursday. Yes, I am. The fight continues inside while they are trying to go upstairs to get some stuff to leave. Sister-in-law is the only one who makes it up to get her stuff. Mother-in-law gets in brother-in-law's face again, but this time she had picked up a glass vase and was holding it over his head like she was going to hit him with it. At this point, sister-in-law saw everything. Mother-in-law slams the glass vase down and picks up the house phone, throws it against the wall, and then punches a door. I go outside to console sister-in-law because she is understandably upset. My boyfriend went on break and texted, so I called him and tried my best to explain what just happened and told him he needed to come home. He said, okay, I will tell my supervisor and I'll be on my way. We hang up, and I go to help sister-in-law with her stuff. We put her things in the car, and I'm trying to make her feel better as we walk back up the driveway, and mother-in-law comes storming outside and she starts going into sister-in-law again. I have had enough. Mother-in-law keeps getting closer to sister-in-law, and I am not going to let her hurt sister-in-law. So I step in between them, facing neither one of them. Mother-in-law says, Don't step between us, get out of my way. I respond, No. You know what? Your behavior tonight is uncalled for and unacceptable. I'm not going to stand by while you bully this girl. You're acting like a child. You'd better watch yourself because you're next. Sister-in-law tries to tell me to stop and leave it alone, and I told her, no, dude. She doesn't get to talk to you like that. Mother-in-law walks back inside, so I call boyfriend because I have a feeling his mom and I are about to fight. He answers, and all I can ask is, how far are you? He said 10 minutes. I tell him he needs to hurry when mother-in-law comes back outside to fight with sister-in-law. I keep boyfriend on the phone while they hash out their conversation. Mother-in-law, You can't leave Thursday. It's the only day we have to leave. I don't care. You can't take my son from me. He is a grown man and can decide that for himself. You know what? You can't talk to me the way my mom talks to me. I'm not your daughter. I will talk to you however I feel. I again asked boyfriend how much longer, and he said 5 minutes. Mother-in-law goes into me next. You better not had called that boy. He needs to work. He better not be coming home. He needs that job. I asked boyfriend if he heard all of that, and he said, Yep. I just responded with, Please hurry. Not even 2 minutes later, he comes zooming into the driveway. His mom had called his grandparents, her enablers, and he gets in her face and starts going off. Side note, I had never seen my boyfriend this angry before. He is usually very calm, and at this point, we'd been together for 1.5 years. He gets her inside. He tells me to get my stuff because we were leaving. His grandparents showed up, and he made her apologize to me for showing her ass, and she gave the worst apology, even took no accountability, and she said she thought I was going to hit her when I stepped between them, which made no sense because I was facing away from both of them. I don't know. Anyways, crap calmed down, and brother-in-law got to move out Thursday in peace, and now he and sister-in-law are happily living together in their own apartment. Boyfriend still lives there though, but we are working on that. Our first reaction comes from Avebury1. Where are the guns? If mother-in-law has access to them, your boyfriend needs to get out of the house for his own safety. When she is that out of control, has anyone ever called the police? She might end up with an involuntary psych hold. The OP responds, He hid them from her for a few days, but at some point she started asking for them, and he told her to get a psych consult before he will give them back, and she threatened to call the cops. She again called his grandparents and got his grandfather to convince my boyfriend to return them to her. It was a whole mess. He eventually gave them back, and honestly, yeah, I really thought about it, and I asked my boyfriend if it was something he would consider, and he said, no, it's not worth the fight. I'm always scared for his safety, but he's less than afraid of her. He's bigger and stronger than she is, and he has his own set of weapons, so anything she tries will come right back at her. We are trying really hard to get him set up to be able to afford to move out, and we just aren't financially ready yet. Avebury1 responds again. You, your boyfriend, his brother, and his girlfriend needed to be documenting everything. The mother is highly unstable, and unless each one of you are armed and ready to instantly respond to a threat, it would not be that hard for her to shoot any one of you. Documentation should include what the grandparents know and when they have been warned about the mother's behavior. Both sons should sit down with their grandparents and have a serious talk about their mother. The grandparents need to understand just how serious the situation is. I would ask them point blank, if she kills herself, one of us, or an innocent bystander, could you live with yourself knowing that you might have helped prevent it? Once your boyfriend is able to move out, I would cut ties with the mother and grandparents. I would not give any of them the new address and have all mail going to a P.O. box. If she is not willing to voluntarily check herself in for inpatient psychiatric treatment, I would cut ties with her. The OP responds, so I agree with you. I do think we need documentation and that she would benefit from therapy at the very least. Their grandparents see her as a perfect being and she can do no wrong in their eyes. My boyfriend has already tried to have the conversation with them about it, and they just don't believe it. And his brother just doesn't care. He's dealt with most of the abuse his whole life, and he's just over it. He only speaks to her sparingly. I mentioned to my boyfriend that when it comes time for him to move out, don't tell her he's leaving, and the day of, get an officer to keep the peace so she doesn't try to hurt him. We don't truly believe she will hurt herself because she's too self-involved to really care about anyone but herself, which is why we wonder if she's a narcissist and actually has NPD. I'd love nothing more than to cut ties with her when he moves out, but he loves his mom and loves his grandparents, and unless she tries to kill me, I don't think he will cut ties for a long time. She has recently decided that she will be coming with us when we move, and taking a vacation in a city not too far from where we will be living. She decided that on her own, and he told me. She didn't ask him, just told him something she told her boss. And I told him no. I don't think I want her to know where we live. Spun Gold Baby Blue responds, this was one of her crazy days. Oh, I think crazy days are behind her. She's been crazy for months, if not years. Thank you for letting us know the end result. The OP closes us out. Sometimes she's pleasant to be around, nice even. But like once a week or a couple times a month, she will just start doing bizarre crap because she's in a bad mood for some unknown reason. She will start slamming doors, slamming plates, sighing really loud, yelling at her dog for simply being in her way. It's obvious when she's having a crazy day. And yeah, man, thanks for reading.